There, we're on.
What's up?
Sounds better. Skype was doing a little feisty things the last couple days.
Man, it sounded like we were making popcorn, so I was like, I think people said that the audio was off for the Archuleta interview. I thought it was fine. Did you see those problems on that?
I don't know. Ask the people right now.
Guys, let me know if you think that there was issues on the Archuleta interview. If you haven't seen that, get off here right now. Go to our go to our channel and our two previous videos. We have Juan Archuleta interview and a little recap of the Mike Perry situation. And then when you've done that, come on back, and then we'll get to the fight breakdowns for you. But do that first, and then come back here.
All right. And saying that, we got So what we're gonna do is there's 3 fight cards this week. So we're gonna do them over the next till the fights happen. We're just gonna kind of squeeze them in so they're not all at once into separate videos because I would have been one too big of a video. So we're gonna start off with Kattar versus Holloway, but before that, we're gonna talk some Risen 26.
And before that, I just want to say Happy New Year's to all of our fans. Thanks for getting us to 4,500 before the year ended. That was big. Hopefully, we'll be at 5,000 Instagram followers soon and 3,000 YouTube subscribers. So please, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do that now. Like the video, share our content. We appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, and we'll be getting better speakers this year. That's something I got to work on, too. Anyway, for the interviews and stuff, just in case we have problems.
Yep.
All right. So, Horiguchi is back. He looked good.
Oh, he looked good. He looked great, bro. He looked like the best bantamweight in the world. I can't sit here and tell you who is the best bantamweight in the world just because he competes outside of the UFC. But that being said, the man has been on a tear in the last 4 or 5 years since his loss to DJ, basically. That might be the best performance of his career, man. I don't know where we go from this. If you guys don't know, he knocked out Kai Asakura in a rematch where he got knocked out in the first round back in 2019, and he knocked out Kai this year, 2020. What do you think about it? For the belt, yes.
And the first fight wasn't for the belt. It was a non-title fight. So this fight, and if people don't know, Kai Asakura is a great fighter. So it's not like he's knocking out someone who's not. This guy could be top 10 in the world. So it says something. Those are called UFC Junkies alone that just think that. The bantamweight division is actually stacked out of the UFC, in my opinion.
Amazing, bro. Manel Cape, Horiguchi, and Kai Asakura all in the same division, all in Risen. Plus you got Juan Archuleta, Patchy Mix, Sergio Pettis, all those guys at Bellator. Amazing.
Yeah, well, Manel Cape is flyweight at UFC now.
I know, but he hasn't fought yet, so he was in Risen.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. And DJ is also in the division.
Yeah, but their division is kind of different because they just bumped their divisions up because of their weight classes. But yeah, I guess technically he's a 135-pounder now.
Absolutely. All right. Now we do have. So he did starch him in the first round. What do you think's next for him? You would like to see Archuleta versus Horiguchi, and we kind of got a glimpse of that.
So when Juan Archuleta won the vacant belt that was previously Horiguchi's, he instantly called out Horiguchi. And that was the second time he called him out. He called him out after he beat Dantas back in 2019. He wants that fight. He knows that technically Horiguchi's still the champion because he didn't lose that belt. He got stripped because of a knee injury. Horiguchi, I'm pretty sure I can't understand his interviews. They're all in Japanese, but from what I'm gathering, he also wants the Archuleta fight. Scott Coker says he's open for it. He's going to work with Risen. They've done it twice in the past. They're going to do it again this year. Juan told me in the interview, if you haven't seen it, again, go check that out. He said that it looks like it's going to be the next fight. It was supposed to be Sergio Pettis, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and do the champ fight. What do you think? What would you prefer to see?
Well, you could still do the Pettis fight, too. It depends on how the fights play out, because if it's going to be for the Risen Championship, that means that win or lose or win, he's not going to lose his belt or championship. But that being said, it would be the same situation when he fought Darren Cadwell, and he'd probably have to have a rematch in Bellator. So, just depends on the contracts. But I would like to see the Archuleta versus Horiguchi fight.
Right. So what Juan said to me basically was he wants there to be one champion, one face, one name, kind of like the boxing model. He doesn't want all these guys across all these organizations saying they're the champ, they're the best guy. If you have two of the top organizations in the world have a champion, they're willing to face each other, their promoters are willing to make the fight happen, we got to make it happen. That's the fight to make. To be honest, that fight might be it's more entertaining than the thoughts of a Jan versus Aljo fight. I'm not saying they're better than Jan and Aljo, but I prefer this fight. I think it's a better fight.
Well, I prefer it too. People just don't give respect to people out of the UFC. If you're not in the UFC, you're not a good fighter. Kind of like how they were ranking Jan, 23rd, you said, or something?
It had Archuleta 32nd, Kaya Sakura 33rd, and Horiguchi 28th.
Which is pretty crazy. So, I don't know. I'm more interested in that fight as well. Just want to say, but shout out to the bantamweights. Aljamain did recognize me on Instagram, so shout out to Aljamain. He was a great bantamweight. But we do move on to so that is, first of all, that is the fight you want to see, is the Horiguchi versus Juan Archuleta.
That's it. That honestly, that is the best fight in MMA for Horiguchi. That's my guy, and I love Juan Archuleta as well. You know, those have both been two of my guys the last few years. But I'm a day one Horiguchi fan. I think I'll be riding with Horiguchi, but we'll break that down in a few weeks when it gets announced.
All right. So we did have some boxing this week. It was nice. It was nice to see. First of all, I want to shout out to, or I don't want to shout out. I want to pan the entrance of Ryan Garcia. I was not going to shout out that entrance. That was a horrible entrance. You were not a king. I don't know why you call him King Garcia. It's just, the guy annoys me.
Why are you salty, bro? Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya did the same thing.
They were champions.
I mean, technically, Ryan's a champion now, too.
A bum champion.
Can we talk about that? There's Teofimo Lopez, who's the franchise champion. There's Devin Haney, who's the WBC champion. There's Ryan Garcia, who's the WBC interim champion. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Who's the champion?
It's Teofimo Lopez. That's the champion. That's the champ.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so weird because you know what's weird about this division? Besides Lomo, they're all so young. Like, they're not even primed guys. They're all so young. These guys will be fighting 10 years from now in their prime.
Lomo's only 32, bro. He's still a monster.
But listen, they're all going to be fighting 10 years from now. Even if the Ryan Garcia Davis fight 3 times, 10 years from now, like, fight again, it would be act like it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Because then they'll be grown-ass men. They fought when they were boys. Now they're men. You know what I mean?
Haney and Garcia fought apparently 6 times or something in the amateurs. I'm pretty sure, like, they split 3-3.
Mm-hmm. It's a weird situation, but out of all the top guys, Davis, Lomo, Teofimo, Haney, I think Garcia has the least chances of being a champion.
Timeout. Pause on that. We need to talk about the fight, and then we'll get to everything after. What do you think about the performance? Talk to me about the fight.
I loved him getting dropped. I did think he was still going to lose, and I was like, okay, people were getting a little ahead of themselves going, hey, Garcia's actually going to lose this fight. I knew he wasn't going to lose. It was a good shot. He got knocked down. He recovered well. He did fight like a champion that way. But you know what? I'm just saying, if Davis hit him with that shot, he wouldn't have been getting up.
Okay. So here's my thing.
It humbled him.
100%. But here's the thing. Ryan Garcia comes out, did his thing. He wins by violent KO, beats a top 5 guy at lightweight. That's a better win than Gervonta has at lightweight. Gervonta's only win at 135 is a one-legged 38-year-old Yuriorkis Gamboa. That doesn't mean anything. If it was Gamboa 6 years ago, okay, that means something. Not now. Not the same guy. Devin Haney, he beat Gamboa after Tank did. Again, doesn't mean anything. So Ryan is up here. These guys are down here. They haven't fought the same level of competition. Did he have a hiccup? Yes, he got dropped. But that, to me, that answers more questions. He's got this. He's not just all show, man. He showed a ton of heart. Do you not give him credit for getting up off of that? Was a vicious shot.
No, I give him credit. Like I said, he fought like a champion. He got off the thing. But I'm just saying, if Davis hit him like that, he's not getting up.
For sure. But that Davis fight with Santa Cruz looked great early on. It was a pretty back and forth fight.
But what happened with Davis fight? He always ends up hitting him.
But how many times was Davis getting hit by Leo Santa Cruz? You could say the same thing. If that's Ryan Garcia hitting him instead of Leo, what are we talking about? It's the same thing.
I don't know. I always thought Ryan Garcia was a little bit chinny. So we'll see.
It's very hard to shout out to Danny Burnham. I was saying the same thing to him. It's very hard to call a man chinny that's never been knocked out.
I guess.
I digress.
Look at his amateur record. Has he been knocked out in his amateur?
I would imagine he probably has. I would say more TKO because they're 3-round fights, but I'm not. I'd have to look into that, but I would guess yes.
Okay, comment below, guys. That's a good little thing. Has Ryan Garcia been knocked out in the amateurs? I don't know. I just think it humbled him. It was good to see. I think he'll be walking out for his next entrance. I would like to see him fight Haney next. I'm not a fan of either of them. I think he beats. Actually, I do think he beats Haney. Thinking about it, but I don't see him beating Davis. I don't see him beating Loma, and I don't see him beating the pound for pound king, my boy Teofimo Lopez ever.
I don't want to hear any mention of any lightweight besides Teofimo. Teofimo is up here. We're not even like, doesn't matter. Everybody else is below. We don't need to discuss that. That's known. But Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia is an amazing fight. Both 20, I think 20, both 22, I think. Devin Haney is a technically superior boxer, but he doesn't have the hand speed, doesn't have the reach, and doesn't have the power that that Ryan Garcia has. So it's a very interesting fight. If Ryan touches him, which he probably will, we got to see how Haney reacts. We haven't really seen Haney's chin tested. I thought Gamboa would have tested the chin, but
none
Gamboa
of these lightweights though have been tested like Garcia was just tested though. So it was good to see one of them get tested, and we found out he got back up. So I'll give him credit for that.
Exactly. All right, let's move on.
Predictions. First time on A, B, C, bang. We got Kattar versus Holloway.
It's actually really cool. It's on ABC, to be honest with you.
It doesn't look like a sports channel, but
no, they play like Family Feud and shit on there.
They play like kids shows 2 a.m. If you're up at 7 a.m., watch ABC. You get a little bit of probably recess, a little bit of weekenders, you know.
Okay, relax.
Yukon on there.
This guy's watching too much ABC Spark. Settle down over there.
ABC Spark. You remember Yvonne the Yukon?
Oh, that was a classic show. Anyways, stop with this. Let's get back to the fights. Our fans don't want to hear about your weird shows that you watch. Let's get back to the fights. Okay, where are we gonna start with this? We got Nick Lentz versus Mike Grundy. You want to start there?
Man, yeah, I want to start off with that. You know what, Nick Lentz I actually love. He's a grinder. He's came off his last two. He's not coming off 2 losses, but he's coming off a loss to Arnold Allen and Charles Oliveira, which nothing are wrong to losing those fighters. He always fights good competition. 30-11, top of his he's not at the top of his career anymore. He's not out of his prime, but he's still a name. But he's back in the featherweight division, and he's fighting Mike Grundy, who's supposed to be an up-and-coming guy. He was a huge prospect, big wrestler, and then he came out and he lost his last fight. I do think Nick Lentz will be too much for him, and he'll be able to grind him out because Nick Lentz is a grinder, and I see him grinding the decision out of him. Mike Grundy, 29-28.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have much else to add to that. I think you hit the nail on the head, and we're going to roll on. We got Carlos Felipe taking on your boy Justin Tafa.
And this is the fight of the night. This is a fight card of the night. We got your favorite guy beat your boy, Jorgen De Castro. He became your favorite fighter, Carlos Felipe. You know, hitting up all those Burger Kings, starting to look like me after the summer. Yeah, I don't know. I got Felipe by knockout first round.
Neither of these guys have Wikipedia pages. Can I get a Rocky IV double knockout, please? Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa. Double knockout. That's what I want. Okay, next. We're on.
Now let's get to Bucky.
We got. Is the Buckley fight announced? Is it on?
It's at the bottom. It's just not lined up properly.
Where is it? Okay, I see Ricky Simon versus TBD. Okay, Alessio De Chirico versus Joaquin Buckley.
A knockout for the second round for Buckley. Another one. He's fighting no names. They're trying to bust his ass up to make him a money star. Until he fights a real fighter, he's going to keep winning. You get a second round knockout again.
I disagree with you on that. I think definitely this guy's getting knocked out 100%. That's a fact. But he's fought 2 undefeated guys back to back. I wouldn't say that he's fighting bums, man.
I guess, but he's fighting people who fought nobodies.
We both picked against him his last 2 fights, so he's doing something right.
I will give him a knockout for second round this time. Watch him this time.
I think first round knockout. I think this guy's getting chewed up. The momentum this guy has after 2 violent knockouts in a row, it's going to.
He's bringing in the 50 G's, baby.
You know what's crazy? He got stopped by Kevin Holland last year.
Yeah, I know. That's insane.
Nobody even thinks about that. No one discusses it. I'm pretty. It was a stoppage, right?
Holland's underrated, though.
I got him in my top 10 middleweights, not UFC middleweights, MMA middleweights.
Me too, absolutely. I'd
Okay.
have him right at 10.
Huh?
I'd have him probably right at 10.
Yeah, that's where I got him. Okay. Phil Haas is back. He's taking on Nasruddin Imavov. I'm assuming by the name, a wrestler. Phil Haas is a specimen. I think Phil Haas is going to destroy this guy.
Yeah, I got Phil Haas by decision.
Second round, violent KO like his last one.
And then we got my boy is back. Finally, 2 years later, at 34 years old, on an 8-fight win streak, it might be 7, coming off a knockout of Neil Magny. Man, I am so stoked for this. This is a main event. I've said this guy is the dark horse of the division, the guy who could be champion like for a long time, underrated, never really counted in as a contender. But we got Santiago Ponzinibbio. My boy is back. He's going to knock this man out in the second round. Sorry, I gave an entrance. You should put that on Instagram. The Pons is back.
He's taking on Li Jingliang. So Li Jingliang is a tough dude. It's going to be
knocked out.
Yes, let me finish. Li Jingliang always comes to fight, but that also opens him up a bit. I'm pretty sure he got beat pretty bad by Neil Magny's last fight, right?
It was pretty. I thought he actually won it.
No, how dare you? How dare you?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's getting knocked out.
There you go. So, I don't know. I love the Pons, man. So, I always want to see him versus Robbie Lawler.
Omari Akhmedov is coming back off of his first loss in a long time to Chris Weidman. He's taking on Tom Breeze. I'm not familiar with Tom Breeze.
Man, Tom Breeze is a win-or-lose guy. He was really hyped up at the beginning. He's coming off a loss right now. Before that, he's been around the UFC since probably 2012. He's been there for a long time. Amari's a tough son of a bitch. The guy just keeps grinding you, man. Like when he fought, like that's a guy you don't want to fight for 5 rounds. Like when he fought Weidman was just like, what is wrong with this dude? He just keeps coming. Like I thought Weidman was getting knocked out. Like he's just one of those bastards you don't want to fight. So. I do got Amari by unanimous decision, grinding the shit out of this dude.
You know what you're getting with Akhmedov, and it's effective. Look at his record. I think he's like 30-2 or something. He's gonna grind this guy. It's gonna be ugly. You're gonna probably want to take a nap before the main event, but he's gonna get the decision.
Yeah, he'll win.
Yeah. Okay. The fight of when I saw this fight was getting announced, man. To me, this was like fight of the year for the UFC. I'm more excited for this than UFC 257, Conor versus Dustin 2. We got Max Blessed Holloway taking on Calvin Kattar. What do you think?
So sad. We've both been Kattar fans ever since that uppercut on Shane Burgos, eh? Oh my God, we were jumping in the air eating our pierogi pizzas. We were on that Kattar train, and you know what? It's sad to say that Holloway at 28 years old, I'd say, it's like he had his prime already, but he's going to lose his last 4 fights. Or not his last 4, but he's going to lose 3 in a row. Yeah. It's sad. I mean, his last ones were competitive. This one will be to the 3rd round. He's going to get shot in the head in the 4th round. He's going down for the first time in his career.
So this is what we know. We know Max Holloway lands a lot of shots. We also know Max Holloway absorbs a lot of shots. Statistically speaking, he's absorbed the most head strikes in UFC history. Did you know that?
Yes.
You're 29 years old, bro. You can't be taking that many shots. But that also shows us that he fights late. His fights go long. This is going to go deep. Calvin Kattar has a great gas tank. Max Holloway has a great gas tank. They're both they like to box. Max mixes in kicks a little more than Kattar, I would say. But the difference is Calvin Kattar's power, man. That's the difference.
Yeah, I just see Calvin upsetting, and Holloway's going to go TKO. Holloway's taking so much damage, I feel like he's going to get caught with a shot rocked in the 4th round and get stopped late after Kattar loses the 3 rounds.
Ooh. The thing about that is, man, Max could be landing shots like he did against Dustin Poirier in the rematch, and Kattar has to touch him once and he wins the round. Remember the 3rd round against Dustin, and Dustin's getting beat up badly, lands a flying knee, wins the round because he hurt him. He has to touch him once.
Yeah, that's the thing, that Holloway, he's just weak. It's sad. He doesn't have that power in his hands. He's a volume striker. He's a Nate Diaz. He's a Nick Diaz kind of fighter. TKOs you with many strikes. not effective strikes. So I just think he's caught bad.
I think so. You're saying knockout Kattar?
Fourth round.
I think it
I
goes.
do have Holloway winning up to the third.
Okay. See, I see it a little different. I think Max is going to be landing more, but I think the damaging strikes are going to be from Kattar. Max's heart will get him through the fight. Excuse me. And I think we see Calvin Kattar win a unanimous decision just based off of significant damage, not based off of landing more.
I don't see many of Kattar's fights winning by unanimous. He's either he loses rounds. He either knocks you out or doesn't. So I just don't see him winning. So that surprises me. We'll see.
That's a good point. But he was coming back late in that Zabit fight. There was 2 more rounds. He might have won that by decision.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We just don't know. I wish that fight would happen. Whatever happened to Zabit?
Dude, it's just like the pandemic hit and he said, I'm just not fighting. Like, what are we doing here? Get in the cage.
It's sad because he's such a top contender. Someone posted online today, I was going to mention this in the video, Zabit versus Jan. And it's like, it's not going to happen.
No. The winner of this fight, Holloway versus Zabit versus Jan. What are you talking about? It's a different weight class.
Oh, you beat Zabit versus Volkanovski.
Yeah. The winner of Holloway Kattar is the next title challenge. Okay, that's what's happening.
Well, no, Brian Ortega.
Yeah, that's already announced after that fight.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's sad, but we do have some announcements this week. We do have Dan Hooker getting a new toy. He gets to play with Michael Chandler. He says he's going to bust that new toy up. Good fight coming on 257. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. And we do have to talk about Khabib's record.
What record? Which one?
The 29-0. About what Tony Ferguson said. Is it true that 15 fighters, he said that 15 people, his first 15 fighters, didn't even have a win in the division yet?
I mean, I would imagine, man, he's fighting in like random leagues and like he was fighting on open mats. I'm pretty in some of his fights. They weren't even in rings.
So he should be like a 19-0 fighter. Let's be real.
I mean, it's not. It is what it is. Like you look at Floyd Mayweather's record, there's some cans on there. You look at all these guys' records; they fought some cans. It doesn't really matter. He's the top guys that he's. Oh, we get it. You don't like Canelo. The top guys that he's fought, he beat them. So what does it matter? Why does it matter?
I don't know. It's a big thing on Instagram. And last thing, we want to shout out to our boy. You know, everyone's favorite person. We better pay him to see pictures of his baby. Mike Perry had a kid today, so congratulations to you.
Congrats. I'm glad you didn't cut your Achilles tendon. Get better, buddy. Get better.
Is that all you want to say this weekend?
We'll be back next week with some Chiesa Magny breakdowns as well as UC2. And if there's boxing next weekend, that as well. But I don't know it. So that's it. We're out.
Yeah, Sergio Kovalev comes up soon.
Yes.
Okay, bye.